Good afternoon. Faded Black breaking news for this Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. This is all of the news that you need. I'm Jimmy Church. Tonight on Fade to Black, live right here in the studio, psychic medium Amy Christine is with us. It's going to be a great conversation, and it's pretty cool to have the guests live in the studio. We do that once in a while, and we'll be doing that tonight. Tomorrow night, Richard Dolan joins us, and then Thursday, we are off air. We're off air for the next week because, of course, everybody knows I'm heading to Alaska. So we've got a short week. Man, I've got so much stuff that I'm doing and prepping for the Alaska trip and getting stuff done. And it's coming up on us really, really fast. I spoke to Scott Walter earlier today. Very excited to hang out with Scott. And I'm going to be seeing him in a couple of days and heading back out to sea with Scott Walter. So anyway, tonight, live in the studio, Amy Christine is with us. She's going to be hanging out in my haunted house. That's going to be interesting. And then tomorrow night, Richard Dolan is here. So there you go. Fun night on the show last night, by the way, discussing imminent Lou Elizondo's new #1 best-selling book. And that was a pretty interesting conversation with all of you on Labor Day. And so I do want to say thank you to everyone for hanging out last night on Labor Day on a holiday when you're celebrating Labor Day, #1. #2, it's your day off. And for you to come in and hang out with us last night, it means a lot to me. So thank you. All right, let's get started on this day in history. 1976, Viking 2 lands on Mars and began taking images immediately after touchdown. It operated on the surface for 1,316 days and was turned off in 1980 when its batteries failed. The orbiter worked. It was a Viking 2 was two parts. There was an orbiter that stayed in orbit around Mars, and then there was a lander that separated and landed on Mars. The orbiter worked until 1978, returning almost 16,000 images. Wow, on this day in 1976. Seems like yesterday. Wow, crazy. Fader fact. You ready? Iceland has an app that stops you from hooking up with a cousin. And that is your fader fact. I mean, Iceland is like this big. The app seems obvious. And there's your fader fact. I vetted it today. It's a real thing. All right. Let's get to the breaking news. Here we go. NASA's second mobile launcher needed for future missions in the Artemis program is already years late and over budget. In an audit released last week, the OIG Office of what do they call it? The OIG said the Mobile Launcher 2, the ML2, which was originally awarded a $383 million contract back in 2019 for delivery by 2023, but only began construction at Kennedy Space Center last August, could continue to see ballooning costs and delays, so that once delivered, it will cost taxpayers more than $2.7 billion and not be ready until 2029. Now, I don't know what the big deal is. $2.7 billion. That's like nothing today, right? Think about that. And think about what the Apollo program cost, right? Last year, we spent $659 billion just for the interest on the national debt. All right, moving on. Scientists have spotted the heaviest antimatter nucleus ever detected lurking in a particle accelerator. It's called antihyperhydrogen 4. And antihyperhydrogen 4 is made up of an antiproton, 2 antineurons, and 1 hyperon. Physicists found traces of the antimatter among particle tracks from 6 billion collisions at the RHIC collider at Brookhaven National Laboratory in New York. Physicists can now discover the differences between matter and antimatter, which may help explain why our universe is now filled with matter, given that antimatter was created in equal amounts at the beginning of time, allegedly. The researchers published their findings August 21st in the journal Nature. Scientists have reported, you like how I start off my news reports with scientists say, scientists report, scientists have reported that they have found bats with toes that glow. Apparently, Mexican free-tailed bats have hairy toes that glow when ultraviolet light shines on them. The toe glows because the hairs have photoluminescence and can absorb UV light and re-emit it at a different wavelength. Bats now join the list of creatures that can glow. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Teams from across the European Space Agency and the rest of the space industry have worked continuously over the past 4 months to overcome a glitch that prevented Bepi Colombo's thrusters from operating at full power. As you know, Bepi Colombo is on a mission to Mercury. All right. The ESA Jackson mission is still on track with the new trajectory that will make it just, are you ready? 100 miles from Mercury's surface tomorrow. This flyby gives us the opportunity to snap images and fine-tune science instrument operations at Mercury before the main mission begins. That's good news. All right. We're talking about lots of flybys from Earth, gravity, Venus, to get this entire mission set up around Mercury. It's a lot that needs to be done. It's logistics, but it's happening. And 100 miles above Mercury tomorrow. An asteroid the size of 2 football fields will near Earth this month on September 15th and will pass just 620,000 miles from Earth, described in cosmic terms as a close call. The asteroid measures 720 feet wide and is one of the largest near-Earth objects to pass by Earth in 2024, September 15th. All right. Yesterday, Sweden told its parents that toddlers should not be allowed to watch screens at all. Okay? Children under the age of 2 should be kept away from digital media and television completely. Kids between the ages of 2 and 5 should be limited to a maximum of 1 hour of screen time per day. And those aged 6 to 12 should spend no more than an hour or 2 a day in front of a screen. Teenagers aged 13 to 18 should be limited to 2 to 3 hours per day. Public Health Minister Jacob Forssmed said that Swedish teens aged 13 to 16 spend 6.5 hours a day on average in front of their screens outside of school hours. And now Sweden is looking at a ban on smartphones in primary schools. I like it. And finally, I'll leave you with this, and you can barf. You can barf. Joey Chestnut. That's right. Joey Chestnut in Netflix's Unfinished Beef special broke the world record for the most eaten hot dogs in 10 minutes without dunking them in water in the history of competitive eating. Chestnut won $100,000 in prize money. How many hot dogs did he eat to break the world record? 83. 3. Think about that. Seriously. There you go. There's all the Fade to Black breaking news that you need for this Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Fade to Black breaking news is produced by Renee Neumann. I'm Jimmy Church. Okay, programming note. Tonight, live in the studio, psychic medium Amy Christine joins me right here live in the bunker in my haunted house. Got a short week this week. Tomorrow night on the show, Richard Dolan joins us. And then from Thursday to next Thursday, we are off air. So for now, all I've got is Go Backley Tappy.